Hello, my name is Marc Russell. I'm part of the Financial Wellness Board with National Debt Relief. I have over a decade of experience working in the financial services world, and it's my goal to make very complex topics that you hear every single day. I want to make them extremely easy for you so you can take control of your financial life. So with that, let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about the differences between the most common debt relief types: debt settlement and debt consolidation. If you're in a financially tough spot and you're like, I have no clue how to get out of this, these two options can be your ticket to financial freedom. So you want to make sure you're paying attention. But before we go over any of the debt relief options, we're going to talk first about a step-by-step plan to follow before you consider these options to make sure that you can get out of debt yourself without having to hire an expert. However, if you go through each one of these different steps and you feel like you still need help, you can always consult an expert. So we're going to talk about those options towards the end. All right, sound good? All right, let's jump in. First, let's talk about how you can get out of debt without having to go through debt settlement or any other debt relief option. First, you want to gather up all your debts. You want to understand your numbers, and you want to understand the creditors who you owe that money back to. And you want to put that on a list. You can either use a Microsoft Word document, Google Sheets, whatever it might be. What you're going to want to collect is your outstanding balances, who your creditors are, your interest rates, your minimal payments, right? You want to have all that in a comprehensive list. Based off that list, you can calculate how much of your monthly income is actually going towards debt. In very fancy terms, they call it your debt to income ratio. How much of your income is going towards the minimum payments that you need to pay on your debt. So by dividing your debt repayments by your monthly income, you're going to get your debt to income ratio. In the most simple of terms, the higher the ratio, the harder it is to take control of your debt. Step number 2 is creating a budget. This is extremely powerful because a budget is your way to know how much money you are spending on a month-to-month basis. And sometimes you can understand how much you are spending on a week-to-week basis. And it's great to just know how your money is flowing throughout the month, throughout the year, right? You want to understand that. You want to understand those numbers before you get to the point where you're paying off all of your debt. Because the cool thing about a budget is that you get to identify the potential areas that you can cut costs on all the things that have nothing to do with your financial goals. Maybe you're paying for a Netflix subscription. Maybe you're paying for a Hulu subscription that you no longer use anymore. Maybe a gym membership, right? That money is coming out of your account, but that money could be reprioritized and put onto your debt payments. So the goal here is twofold, right? Number 1, it could help you cut costs because you might be spending unnecessary money like I used to do in the past. And number 2, it will tell you the precise amount of money you can comfortably put towards your debt payments every single month. And you will also need to know this number in order to move on to the next step. Now on to the third and sometimes fun, sometimes very scary part. When you have a clear list of all your outstanding debts per creditor, then you have to call each one of those creditors and see if you can actually get a lower payment. Some creditors might be willing to work with you with a lower interest rate or modify your payment plan if you contact them and explain your entire financial situation. They happen to be more flexible than what you might think they might be because they are happy, more than happy, to settle for less instead of taking the risk of you going into bankruptcy and them receiving no money at all from your debts. Now, if you have a really good credit score, what you might want to do after creating a budget is exploring what they call a balance transfer. And a balance transfer works just like this. You might want to get a new 0 APR credit card. What does that mean? APR stands for annual percentage rate. So you can get credit cards that offer 0 APR for 12, 15 months, right? Where you can pay down your debt without accruing any interest. So when you get the new card, you can use that new card to pay off your already outstanding balances. And you can make the payment to the new credit card every single month with a 0% interest for whatever the defined period of time might be. Maybe 12 months, 15 months, and there's some cards out there that might even offer 18 months and 21 months of no interest. This could save you a lot of money in interest payments. So use these steps to take control of your financial life, and you could do it yourself without expert help. But if you're going through and you're still confused, you're not sure what to do with your money, you can hire an expert maybe a debt relief company that can help you along the way. And the cool thing about it is that they can help you take control of your financial life by working with you and creating a financial plan that works for you and negotiating with your creditors on your behalf. So for me, I paid off $80,000 myself the hard way years ago. I wish I had the help in order to help me make that journey way quicker than what it was. National Debt Relief and I are on the same mission. We are committed to helping you get back your financial life. Okay, now that we walked through all those different steps, you might feel like you need a little bit more help from an expert. But the cool thing is, that's what we're here for. But you might be wondering, what is the best option for my unique situation? To help you decide, let's go over the two common types of debt relief options: debt consolidation and debt settlement. First up, debt consolidation. Debt consolidation means consolidating multiple smaller debt payments into one big debt. What I mean by that is that you will get a new big loan that is used to pay off those smaller debts, leaving you with just one debt and one creditor that you need to manage. So this method of debt relief is extremely powerful, and it helps to simplify your monthly payments so you can manage one payment instead of multiple. This usually means that you lower your overall payments, and the interest rate on your consolidated loan is also lower, and it's lower than the average interest rate of your previous debts where you had multiple. Also, you can get caught up on your bills quickly if you're running behind on your monthly payments, which can save you a lot of headache. Plus, you will repay the big loan on a fixed schedule agreed on with your consolidated loan provider. However, this all sounds really nice, but it comes with a very big if. If you have a great credit score that allows you to borrow at a very low rate, a relatively low rate compared to the debts that you currently have, this might be the way to go. But if your credit score is not that great, you might want to consider other debt relief options such as debt settlement. Debt settlement is also known as debt negotiation. Debt settlement basically means that an expert debt negotiator will negotiate with creditors on your behalf. The goal is to get the creditors to accept a lower repayment rate or a lower repayment amount that is less than the amount that you borrowed from them in the beginning, in exchange for them not to settle for a 0% balance. The creditors tend to like that a little bit more because they know that they'll end up receiving some money instead of no money at all. In other words, the creditors are happy to work with you because they are happy to take a percentage of the outstanding balance rather than taking the risk of you going bankrupt and them not getting anything. The pros of debt settlement are the following. In many cases, you'll get plenty of financial resources specifically aimed at helping you take back your financial future. You also get quality information laying out precisely how to handle your remaining outstanding debts, and often you'll have the ability to ask specific questions to the debt expert that you'll be working with. Also, debt settlement can help you save money. In many cases, the negotiator will be able to negotiate a lower total amount that you need to pay back to your creditors. But there are cons as well. If the negotiator is able to negotiate favorable rate terms with the creditor, it's common to pay him or her part of the profit in fees. But still, the amount that you save in repayment is often many times higher than the fees that you pay to the negotiator. So it works out. What's also important to know here is that the IRS sees settling debt as making a profit. You making a profit. And anytime you make a profit, you make money. The IRS, Uncle Sam, they want a cut of that money. So you have to pay taxes on it. The debt expert can help you with all of this. To qualify for debt settlement, you have to have income. Therefore, the type of debt relief is great for you if you have a credit score that is not too great, but you also already have a job that pays you. To recap, if your credit score is high, but you aren't able to handle your outstanding debt payments yourself, debt consolidation might be the way to go. But if you're in the market for a new house or a new car, be careful, because just like getting a debt consolidation loan, receiving debt negotiation and getting part of your debt settled can result in a dip in your credit score and potentially make it harder to buy a house or car. If your credit score is relatively poor and you need help negotiating your debt, getting help in a form of debt settlement might be the way to go for you. You do need an income for this option though. So if you don't have an income, you might want to look for other ways to go about decreasing your debt, which we'll cover in another episode. To learn more about these options, all you have to do is click the link in the show notes to get a complete breakdown of all the options we talked about today. With that, I'll see you on the next episode. See you then.